Hi, this is Sherry, and welcome to Grace and Strength. Today's chair yoga practice is a gentle practice, doing some stretching and mobility exercises. Scripture tells us that it's in God that we live, move, and have our being. Let's practice together and think about what that means in each of our lives.
Let's come to our comfortable seated yoga posture. Scoot a bit forward in your seat so that you are not tempted to slouch back. Root down into your sitting bones. Neutralize your pelvis. Stack your shoulders over your hips and draw your ears back in line with your shoulders. Allow your hands to just rest comfortably on your lap, palms up or palms down. Allow the eyes to close if you feel safe doing so. Begin to check in with the breath. Just observe it. Don't manipulate or judge it. What is the rhythm, the depth? Do you know to pause at the top of the inhale and at the bottom of the exhale? Where does the breath travel? If you notice that the breath is being centered mostly in the chest, perhaps you practice the 3-part breath here. Intentionally allow the belly, ribs, and chest to all expand with each breath. Fully exhale each breath, reversing the sequence. Now, allow the words of our scripture to fall on your ears, taking note of any word or phrase that just seems to stick with you. And begin to question what the Lord has for you today in His Word. The God who made the world and everything in it is the Lord of heaven and earth and does not live in temples built by human hands. And He is not served by human hands as if He needed anything. Rather, He Himself gives everyone life and breath and everything else. From one man He made all the nations, so that they should inhabit the whole earth. And He marked out their appointed times in history and the boundaries of their lands. God did this so that they would seek Him and perhaps reach out for Him and find Him, though He is not far from any one of us. For in Him we live and move and have our being. As some of your own poets have said, we are His offspring. Just allow the words to echo in your ear, holding on to any word or phrase that has risen above the rest, or any thought or reflection that has begun to form. Let that be your intention for your practice today. We will begin with some gentle neck stretches. Remember, in any yoga practice, you are in control of what postures you do and how far you take them. Treat the practice as you would a buffet, choosing those postures that feel nourishing to your body, and leaving behind those that cause any pain. Only take postures to your personal edge. Don't focus on the shape of the posture, but rather the sensation of the stretch. Let's get started. Now reassess your seated posture, making any necessary corrections. And on an inhale, lengthen the spine from the crown of your head. On the exhale, allow the chin to drop down towards the chest. Allow the back of the neck to open up with a few breaths. With the next inhale, bring the head back to neutral, and on the exhale, gently lift the gaze and chin upward towards the heavens. Are you seeking God? Are you reaching out to Him for strength and guidance? As you do this, be sure not to let the head just drop back. You should just feel a nice opening through the front of the throat. Good. Now on the next inhale, return the head back to neutral. And on an exhale, allow the right ear to drop down towards the right shoulder. Relax the shoulders. Extend the left arm down towards the floor and flex the left hand. Gently move the hand forward and back, up and down, to find what I call your sweet spot. You should feel a nice stretch in the left side of your neck and perhaps down into the shoulder area. Pause here for a few breaths. Inhale the head back to neutral. Relax the arms. And return that left hand back to your lap. And let's repeat that sequence on the other side. So on the inhale, lengthen through the spine. And on the exhale, allow the left ear to drop down towards the left shoulder. Relax the shoulders. And extend the right arm down towards the floor, flexing the right hand. Gently move the hand forward and back, up and down, and find that sweet spot we talked about before. We'll hold for 2 or 3 more breaths. Great. Go ahead and inhale the crown of the head back up. And we'll move on to working some mobility in the shoulders, arms, wrists, and even our fingers. On an inhale, draw the shoulders up towards the ears. And on the exhale, release them down away from the ears. Do that 2 or 3 more times with your breath. Now we'll work in some shoulder rolls. So once again, on the inhale, lift the shoulders up. And then we will draw them back and down and forward. Good. On the inhale, rising up and back. Exhale, down and forward. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Now we'll reverse that. Inhaling up, and then the shoulders go forward, down, and back. 2 more times, rolling the shoulders forward. Good. Take the shoulders back to neutral and cross your right arm across your chest. And take the left hand to the right tricep. That's the back of your right arm. You may like to also drop that left ear towards the left shoulder to increase the stretch. Breathe. Inhale, drawing the head back up. Release that right arm. Maybe roll the shoulders forward or back a couple times. And let's take that to the other side. Go ahead and cross that left arm over the chest, taking the right hand to that left tricep. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. And maybe you take that right ear over towards that right shoulder. Feel the stretch in the left neck, left shoulder, and breathe. Good. Inhale the crown of the head back up. Release the hands back down to your lap. Now we're just going to work with the wrists. So come back to your neutral seat. Readjust. Make sure that you haven't started to slouch or anything like that. And just taking the hands in front of you, just rotate the wrists. Rotate them one direction, and then after a few rotations, go ahead and reverse the motion, opposite direction. It's good to just move all of our joints. The movement helps lubricate the joints and maintains their mobility. Now, a great exercise for maintaining dexterity of the hands is called finger O's. What you'll do is you'll take your hands in front of you and with your thumb, touch each finger in sequence all the way to the pinkies. And then you'll work your way back to your thumb. So starting with the pinky and then the ring and the middle and the index. Good. And we'll just do that sequence 2 more times. Being really slow and intentional with the movements, not rushing through this. Good. Now we're going to move on to the spine. And we're going to move our spine in all 6 directions that are possible. Once again, just moving is key. Even really subtle movements and small movements can be beneficial when you're accustomed to being mostly sedentary. Be gentle and go at your own pace. So to start out with, we're going to gently flex and extend the spine in an exercise called seated cat and cow. So make sure that you're scooted away from the back of your chair. Find your rooting of your sitting bones. Sit up tall. Take the hands onto the thighs. And on an inhale, we're going to draw the heart forward as we take the gaze upward towards the ceiling to arch the back. And on the exhale, we're going to draw the top of the waistband of your pants down towards the back of your chair as we round out through the spine and the shoulders. Tuck the chin in towards the chest. So inhale, we draw the heart forward, gaze goes upward. This is cow pose. And on the exhale, round through the spine, tuck the chin in towards the chest. This is our seated cat. So move through that 3 more times with your breath. Inhale, opening. Exhale, closing. Good. Come back to neutral, and next we'll move on to the lateral stretch of the spine, working it both right and left. So to do this, we're going to go ahead and root that right hand onto the side of the chair, or depending on the width of your chair, you may want to maybe grab onto the side of the chair. We just want to have security in there. Make sure both sitting bones are rooting down into the chair. Go ahead and inhale that left arm up towards the sky. Relax the shoulder away from the ear. And on an exhale, go ahead and lean over towards the right. Again, really keeping that left sitting bone rooted in. Reach through those fingertips. Keep the heart open and resist the urge to allow yourself to slouch downward. So keep the heart lifted, thinking about stacking that left shoulder over the right. Nice. Go ahead and inhale, take it back center, take that left hand down to the chair, find that security, inhale that right arm up, and I'll go ahead and exhale, lean over to the left, reach through those fingertips. Make sure you're keeping that heart open. Inhale, come on, center, nice. And the last stretch for the spine that we're going to do, or mobility exercise that we'll do for the spine, is a twisting action. And I kind of called it the seatbelt twist because it's kind of like putting a seatbelt on. So you're going to go ahead and extend that right arm up and kind of towards the back. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, imagine that you're grabbing a seatbelt and crossing it over the chest and clicking it into the seatbelt buckle on the left hip. Go ahead and inhale, reach that right arm up and to the right, and exhale, draw it down into the left hip. One more time, inhale, reach it up, and exhale, draw it down to the left hip. Good. We'll do that also on the other side. So come back to neutral. We'll inhale that left arm up and exhale, cross it over the chest and take that hand to the right hip. Inhale, extend up. Allow that gaze to follow. Exhale, take the seatbelt, click it in. And one last time, inhale and exhale. Good. Now just take a couple resting breaths. We're going to just take our mind back to our scripture. Maybe allow your eyes to close. Notice that breath. And remember any word, phrase, thought, or reflection that you had in response to your scripture today, whatever time of day that you're practicing. Have you been questioning whether your life truly has purpose? Have you ever wondered if God could really do anything great through you? Remember, you are His child, and He has great plans for you. It is through Him that we move, breathe, and have our being. He will give us strength to accomplish what He has planned. Next, we will work the mobility of the hips. We will start out by simply stepping one foot out to the side and then stepping it back. And then we will take the opposite foot, step it out to the side, and take it back. Make your movements as big as your mobility allows. Your body will adapt to whatever it gets used to. If you move only a little and make small movements, that is where your mobility will settle. So let's take 5 more to each side. Now, place your right ankle over your left thigh if it is available. This might be too much for you. You can accomplish this same stretch by straightening out the left leg a bit and crossing the right ankle somewhere over the lower left leg. Go ahead and take a couple of circles in both directions with the right foot, loosening up the ankle joint a bit. Flex the foot, drawing the toes back towards the shin. You may